interest is to continue to govern this country. And it's from all over the country. It's a group of Nigerians who understand the buttons to press. And they understand that they can only remain ruling class if we continue to fight each other on the basis of ethnicity. I'm obedient, I'm not obedient, I'm this and that. And any one of them gets into power, that's it. You never hear about them or what they do. So what's wrong? What happened to that Nigerian who could stand up and say, I want my rights? I had an occasion to speak to Nelson Mandela after he retired. And it has remained one of the most profound engagements for me. And he asked me a number of questions. He said, what happened to your country? You used to be such great people. Your country was the first country to give us 10 million pounds to start the armed struggle in 1962. And we all looked up to Nigeria. We said Nigeria is going to lead the way to the Black Renaissance. Nigeria will set the standard for the black race. And Nigeria will get the black one to be respected wherever he comes from. We believed in you. He said, when I was in prison, people would visit me and I would ask them about the struggle in ANC. And then the next question would be, how's Nigeria doing? But I kept getting progressively worse reports. They said, in your country now, you can't be president unless you have a particular religion. In your country, you have to be from some part of the country to be there. And I remember your prime minister, that soft-spoken, very polished man who gave us money. They killed him. Now, Nigeria is known more for crime and corruption. What happened to you? He asked that question 6, 7, 8 times. What happened to you? And what happened to our country? Do we want it back? Should we get it back? Do we have an option to get it back? And who should get it back for us? Because clearly, nobody is going to walk out of this country the way some people think. If we don't get what we want, we will just simply walk out. It won't happen. Because you don't really understand this country. Nobody is walking away. Certainly not cleanly. So who's going to fix this country? Politicians just want power. What do we want? How do we fix what is broken? How do we get young people to move from the fringes to the center? How do we make this issue about Nigerians? A young man there. The university students who have spent 8 months under an uncaring government that doesn't care. Their children, the children of the ruling class, don't attend universities in Nigeria. They go out. So if you close the universities down, 20 months, it doesn't make any difference. What do we do about the anger of young people? We saw it, EMSA's protest, and we saw the end of it. It's good to be angry, but you've got to organize and channel that anger to productive anger. Nigerians must be angry. And Mandela told me, why aren't Nigerians more angry than they are? There is a level of poverty which is not acceptable in Nigeria, in a country like Nigeria. There is a level of poverty and helplessness which is not acceptable. If it is not acceptable, then clearly we must do something about it. Why are we not teaching our young people history? Why are we not telling them that we were just these hopeless people just scurrying around trying to make a living from day to day? Why don't we tell them about great stories about great people classifying us as failed cases, failed countries? That's the real tragedy. So, 2023 is a turning point. It's an opportunity. It should not be a threat on our lives. It's a chance to rebuild the country. It's an opportunity to retrieve Nigeria. The little we can do as Northern Elders Forum is what we're going to do next week. We plan to sit with at least six of the leading candidates. Sit with them in a room and say, sir, put your plans on what you will do to fix Nigeria on the table. We want to look at it. We have some questions we want you to answer. What are you going to do about insecurity? What are you going to do about the economy? What are you going to do about the young, hungry people? What are you going to do about all this drift, all this hatred that we have for each other? How do you put Nigeria back on the global scale? How do you stop corruption? Tell us what you're going to do and show us the people you're going to do it with. Because we know you're not governed. You're not going to govern alone. And we've got all the candidates to agree to come up for this engagement. You don't turn up, we have only one answer for that. You have contempt for public opinion and the interest of stakeholders. But they will come. And we are saying to other groups, other parts of Nigeria, ask our leaders to tell you what they will do with their lives. Ask them what foundations they will lay for our children, our grandchildren. Now, if you are not satisfied, in the name of God, don't vote simply because of an ethnic identity or religious identity. Don't do it because you will be sacrificing the future of your child. Don't do it because Nigeria will not change. Don't do it because, believe me honestly, you would have missed fantastic opportunity to turn this country around. Thank you very much, and I'm grateful for this.